morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you listen to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark.
Peace.
Ali.
What up?
Myself, Isaiah. Together.
That's hip hop.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It really does mean a lot. Today we're discussing one of the most lyrical, dangerous MCs to ever touch a microphone. Yeah. His style is razor sharp, hyper intellectual, and fiercely aggressive. A fusion of battle rap intensity and literary depth, same thing. Known for his punchlines, wordplay, and cultural references that range from pop culture to theology, Chino XL doesn't just write bars. He crafts verbal puzzles laced with venom. Chino XL, he's really a legend among lyricists, really, when you think about it, though never a mainstream household name. He's revered in hip-hop circles for elevating the craft of writing. Artists like Royce da 5'9", Lupe, Fiasco, and Eminem have followed the trail Chino blazed in cerebral, combative lyricism. His name is synonymous with lyrical warfare, whether it's his solo work or collaborations with Razkaz or Sway and Tech's Wake Up Show. He's known for outshining peers with surgical precision. He's been active since the 90s and never watered down his content, staying true to the bar-heavy, mind-twisting style that defines the brand. If Electronica was a mystic, Chino XL is the assassin. Mm-hmm. Methodical, brutal, hyper-aware. His pen bleeds IQ points, and his verses are both a flex of a masterclass. Having taken his life, sadly, a few months following that, we have Darkness and Other Colors, released November 6th, 2024, on the label 1332 Records. Producers on this were Chino XL himself, Curister, Fumes of Threat, Body Bag Ben, DJ G.I. Joe, and Sam Seed. There's really no stats or nothing that I have on this because I can't pick up the page that contains that information. But I do know that this release was met with some controversy just because of its early release, 2 months earlier from what the family had hoped for, because during this time, they were hoping to raise funds and stuff for charity and for awareness, but instead it kind of went to recoup profits. And so there was some controversy with that. It kind of sucks. But even beyond that, this album itself is even controversial in its own right, because Chino XL, he follows up, the threat he posed in 2006 and really throughout his career in, talking about death and even suicidal thoughts, going really to that dark place, some MCs like to go to. But this is really just like a showcase of the prolificness, the prowess, the skill that he has with the pen. Even going to a dark place like this, it's kind of crazy. We always joke around with MCs like Necro, because they really go very dark and gruesome horror, with the pen, but it's very technical. It's very surgeon-like. And, that's what we have here with Chino XL, except this isn't it isn't just going there just for the sake of going there. These are really mental things that he's fighting and he's bringing awareness to everybody with mental health and stuff like that. So these are real demons that he's battling here and real things that he's going through these dark places and trying to find resolution through all of it, which I think he ultimately does in this album itself, referring to the end of the album where he's hoping that whoever's listening finds that light or finds that hope or whatever at the end of it. So there is some sort of resolution. Chino XL, though, legendary MC, heralded as one of the dope MCs, but just never had that mainstream success. What do you guys remember as far as your first introduction to Chino XL?
With the lyrical circles that you end up hearing about of who's who as far as lyricism goes, his name comes up very often. There's a couple of I was able at Rock the Bells 2006. I was able to grab a Chino XL mixtape and listen to it, and
that's crazy.
And I was stunned. I was taken aback. In '06, I still was trying to do my rounds and finding lyrical rappers, so it was a real treat getting his mixtape. One of the, like just a random mixtape too. I don't know if there was any theming to it, but hearing him and like all the joints that was on it, it's like, dude, like he's even at that point in 2006, the lyricism was on point, and his punchlines are deliberate, crafty, and they're most of the time, not a lot of MCs do this, but they punch you in the face.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He has
that kind of impact doesn't come off often because you can't fit impact into a bar if you don't have delivery like he does. He's strangling the songs, like he's putting a lot of emphasis on what he does with the delivery, and as far as trying to fit as much as he can bar per bar, and that's where that's where I just get the analogy of like it feels like he hits you in the face with it. So
yeah, I get that too. What are your thoughts, Ali? What do you remember first introduction?
Yeah, I mean, first time I ever heard his name was Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah,
it's the first time I ever heard his name. You know, Pac goes on a rant at the end, shitting on a bunch of people. He mentions Chino XL as well.
And what's the story behind that? Because I don't think a lot of people know for our audience. Like,
yeah, so there's a song that Chino has, and he has a line where he says something like, "You get fucked like Tupac in jail."
Album, right?
Yeah, his debut album, and he says something like, "You get fucked like Tupac in jail," or something to that. You know, I don't have the exact bar, but something to that effect.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pac didn't take too kindly to that, so he goes on Hit 'Em Up, and I mean, we all know Hit 'Em Up, crazy diss record. But at the end, you know, Pac goes on a rant, just. You know, he says like, you know,
right at the end,
fuck Mobb Deep, fuck Biggie, fuck Bad Boy,
Chino
blah, blah, blah.
XL
And then just out the blue, Chino XL, fuck you too. It's like
listening to that after I discovered Chino XL, I was like, oh,
that's
that guy.
So that's the first time I ever hear his name ever. Yeah. And then as far as hearing him rap, I didn't get into hearing him until it might have been 06 or 07, where I heard Crooked Eye. You know, one member of Slaughterhouse, right. He had a mixtape, and he had a song called Tap Dance with Chino XL on it. Okay. And it's basically just like talking about how dudes is tap dancing around, you know, the street life, like they're not really about it. And both of them go insane lyrically.
Crooked Eye's dope in his own right too.
Right.
Yeah.
So the two of them just go nuts. So that's the first time I actually heard Chino XL rap, and I'm like, okay, this dude's crazy nice. Yeah. Like, he can spit with anyone. Like I could tell just on that one feature, I was like, oh yeah, he can. All the crazy lyricists from it could be Raz Kaz, Crooked Eye, you know, Royce the 5'9", anyone from that class, Chino fits right in with all of them, and he can go bar for bar with all of them. Exhibit, like that whole kind of late '90s, early 2000s kind of wave of kind of underground, almost mainstream rappers. Yeah. Chino XL can go bar for bar with all of them. He, again, like you mentioned, he was big on the Sway and Tech, you know, morning show.
Outshining other cats too.
Just freestyling on there, going nuts. I mean, you could just YouTube his freestyles, and they're insane. Yeah, insane. And again, you know, one last thing on the Tupac thing, you know, Pac dissed a lot of rappers at the end. You know what I mean? But the only one that went at Pac directly by name, not subliminals, while he was still here, was Chino XL. Anyone else you can think of?
And it was hard.
It was hard.
Some of the bars, he said something about your bald head deflating.
He
like
went in. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
Like anyone else that ever dissed Pac, it was either a subliminal, or the song came out after he died, or, you know, they didn't say anything at all. Chino XL was one of the few that actually went back, dissed Pac by name while he was still alive.
During a scary time to diss Pac too, because he's with death row now.
He's the hottest thing out. He's on death row.
Fresh out of jail, California dreaming.
He was the hottest thing out. You know what I mean? So that, for me, even I just from a battler perspective, give him props, because, like I said, he's dissed all these other people, and all their responses to Pac, either were just subliminals where he didn't say his name, or it came out after he died. So it's like, really? But yeah, Chino got him while he was here.
And he understood the risk on that, because when you mention a guy at that mainstream level, the trickle down effect happens, because now the people that are associated with Pac cannot do anything with Chino XL.
Correct.
And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about basically West Coast.
And that's him
like
literally,
all the West Coast
that's
people.
just him saying, I don't give a shit.
Yep.
Like that's the mentality you got to have to go at somebody on that level. You know what I mean? So for me, just on a respect level as an MC and on the battle tip, that's like, I had to respect him on that. You know what I mean? I don't care how you feel. You got to respect the fact that he wasn't scared, went in, and yeah. So that was, as far as my early knowing him, it was when Pac mentioned him, but also the joint with Crooked Eye. Like that was when I was like, oh, this dude is like nice. Yeah. Like legitimately nice.
And peace to everybody, because this is actually one of the fans' choices selecting this album. Definitely a very dense album, very lyrical, but just, yeah, dude, very, very dark. And this is a little different for us because we're actually going into a darker place with this album than what we're normally used to or what we tend to liken to. But we're still here for it. We're still here for the bars and the lyrical lyricism. And that's what we definitely get a display of here. Yeah, Chino XL is, talking about style wise, I feel like he kind of reminds me of, and I don't mean this as a shot, but like he kind of reminds me of Busy Bone, like as far as like, he that lyrical, like fast, he's fast with it, but then he also, but with him, it's just like he just,
high velocity, lyrical ferocity.
There we go. There we go.
That's a
perfect way to put it.
Incredible description.
Yeah. And wordsmith for sure. Like this guy can say things different. I like MCs who are essentially saying the same thing but say it their way, and it's like it's cool. Like I like that. Who can say it differently. He doesn't say the thing everybody says. He says something essentially the same thing but in a different way. That's cool, and I like that. He has his own style and everything. Like, I think all that's dope, and he kept it consistent too. Yeah. That's also dope. Poisonous with the pen. I would definitely say, he was definitely one of that mastery level that could do his own master class for sure.
And one thing to point out too with this, with his style, is that he's beyond the cookie cutter example of lyrical rappers.
Yeah.
I can, explain, I can call out lyrical rapper A, B, and C.
Right.
We know the MO essentially. Chino XL is a lyrical rapper of his own and in his own lane. Like on that like on the hip hop tree, the biggest example that we can use about hip hop, he's on that lyrical branch. He's the furthest branch. And he branches out off that branch, and he's that little leaf there.
Yeah.
Budding his own little branch.
Yeah.
Because that's how that's how askew lyrically he is. And the beauty about it is that if people try to encroach on that, they'll have a hard time, because his style is hard to duplicate.
On his territory,
trying to bite Chino XL, you wasting your time.
Yeah, like, you're talking about complex multi-syllable rhyme schemes.
It's like a puzzle almost.
Yeah, exactly. Bars with haymakers. They're dense, they're rhythmic, internal rhymes going on, like multiple punchlines in a single stanza. It checks a lot of boxes with as far as your lyrical abilities. This guy has a lot of that. I would just say, like, man, trying to battle this dude, I'd be afraid to try to battle this dude.
Good luck.
I thought about it as a listener. I'm like, man, what would it be like trying to battle this dude?
Yeah. think about Chino XL in a battle sense, whether it be like, just whatever type of battle you want to do. You want to do disc for disc, you want to do live, whatever.
Right.
You're going to have a hard time with him, because what is at the forefront of a battle between two people? how better are you at rapping than I am?
Right. And this guy's
You want
damn
to try
good.
that with him?
And
Good
Chino
luck.
XL is damn good at it. Like, there's certain people that like rap for a living, but they practice and work their way to it. And then there's some people that are just gifted with it.
Yeah.
Chino XL is one of those who's not only gifted, but worked hard as well at the craft. So that's dangerous. Anytime you have somebody that was also gifted, but then works hard at it. Yeah. And I think Chino XL falls in that category. Like this guy, he's different. Brutal metaphors, dark humor too. So like, yeah, he's in that lane.
He's willing to go there. I
Yeah,
mean, like I
he's in
said,
that
the cadences is off the charts.
Yeah, and some of these beats I would never try to really rap on. They're grimacing.
That too.
They're grimacing. It's like Mortal Kombat, like back.
Yeah, it sounds like Mortal Kombat soundtrack for sure.
Yeah. Like,
all you're missing is round one.
yeah. It's just
Fight.
him. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's when the fighting starts.
Yeah.
When you hear Chino XL drop his bars.
Otherworldly. It sounds like he's like possessed by some like force,
Like in another different realm or something.
in another dimension or something. Cricket Eye said that he's a Jedi MC, so that was a compliment to him. But definitely more than a rapper. It feels like he is ahead of his time. I think he named himself Muscle Bound God, Puerto Rican superhero.
Fool kept himself in good shape too.
He
I feel
did.
about that,
Yeah. So that was also pretty dope. It's like he was a lab-grown monster that mastered English language and escaped into like a recording
What if
booth.
we created a hip hop version of Bane?
Yeah, like a Blanca that like broke out of the lab or something.
Hip hop Blanca. Nice.
Album cover. This matches definitely the energy of the album.
Yeah.
It's dark. It's grimace. It's Tales from the Crypt. Like
Yeah,
it's
the mirror mask from Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
yeah. It looks like even like hand painting looks archaic. Like if it was painted on a cave or something. So for those who are listening, it's a painting of like a skull or a face or like a mask or skull looking like face, almost kind of like on a cave with like hand paint, archaic for sure. And then you have Chino's logo on the top left, and then on the bottom right you have the name of the title album, Darkness and Other Colors. Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts about this album cover here?
I mean, I like, it kept true to his other projects with his logo on the top left.
Yeah.
Wow, even this kind of dark message with the painting, I mean, it can say a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without saying much at all, it can, the skull, it can say a lot. Death, vulnerability, flaws. I mean, there's so much there without really even saying much.
Yeah. I like how you said that.
You could take into you could take in plenty of examples of looking into a face like that. You have it fits the visage of either a human skull with the nose cavity there, or you have the dark almond eyes of an alien gray.
Oh yeah.
Or it's just the human skull with just hollowed out cavities,
Right.
but it's in between. It's in between Homo erectus and the human, because it's not really our skull, our human skull.
Right.
So it's just like something of that nature, but that's digging real deep in it. It's just you feel at its core, you do feel compelled to stare into the eyes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they're like kind of a little bit more bigger
and
on this face here.
but I think that's plays into the word of what we have, darkness and other colors. You see the darkness there, but then after you come back to it, you see the other colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like when you stare at it, you're staring at just complete darkness through those eyes. There's no eyes, essentially. Yeah, it's pretty wicked, man.
Yeah, that title alone, Darkness and Other Colors. What do you think about that title, Ali? Like, tying it.
It's like it's kind of a double meaning. I mean, darkness there's in theory no color.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So, but it's still it's still being referenced as a color, but also just talking about, it could be just the theme of darkness, just of a feeling and emotion rather than actual, pitch black. You know what I mean? So It's like it could have been called Black in Other Colors, or you know, but instead they chose Darkness in Other Colors.
Right,
So it's like
right.
the feeling of being, you know, like pitch black, but also again, like I said, a dark feeling, dark emotions, dark thoughts.
What's crazy too is like the album tracks also list colors in there.
Yep, all the songs have colors in them.
That's also interesting. I like when an artist does that, what they play with the title tracks and they incorporate the theme in that. That's also kind of cool.
Yeah, doing that kind of highlights attention to detail. That's all what I've always appreciated about like theme albums. Like if you guys keep a theme throughout a whole album, that means every track was dedicated from start to finish.
Right, with this in mind, this message or whatever. Yeah, Darkness and Other Colors, I almost feel like it's almost like a kind of like a 50 Shades of Grey thing going on, where it's like all kind of this darkness, but it's just different shades of it almost. That's kind of the idea I got behind it. But it definitely, the aesthetic definitely does tie in well with the album. So you already know, like looking at this album cover, it's going to go there. It's going to be dark. And it definitely does go there. From the beat, from the haunting, menacing beat to the brutal honesty that Chino XL goes in with this album, because he talks about family and not being loved but other than his kids, and like really going into these dark truths that he feels in his perspective, like, you know, that's like what he's feeling. So yeah, it definitely goes into a darker side for sure. So this is about the point when we jump into the album. We choose 3 tracks that we favorited out of this album, and then we go into the lyrics. We read through them, and then we pick out, you know, the meanings. We see if there's any sort of scheme going on or any type of technique, and then we just kind of bring that out. So for this album, we chose 3 tracks. The first one that we chose is going to be the first title track, which is Words in the Color of Death. Second one is going to be Sermon in Crimson. And the third one's The Red You Deserve. Yeah. Piece of Chino XL, man. This hard-hitting, definitely, because we were listening to 2 different albums this week. We were listening to Electronica, very spiritual, very like transcendent. And then it's cool because then we got the other side of this, which is more dark, haunting, hellish. You're like, we got 2 different spectrums.
Yeah. Completely different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a very so this album holds a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And we are going to be diving into the lyrics and stuff, and we're not in a position to put any like PSA out there, but it's just there's a lot of evidence that supports what this gentleman was going through.
Yeah.
And it's a very dark look. I mean, I ended up, just to be fully transparent, I reached out to Ollie and Isaiah, and I'm just like, hey, like, we're going to have to tread softly with this album in a sense of just trying to make sure that we keep true to, you know, looking at the artistry with this. So
absolutely.
Yeah, because there's some artists that it kind of like there's reminiscence of, like, you know, Tupac. It's always like kind of haunting in the way, like sometimes he's so fascinated with death, or Biggie fascinated with death, Mac Miller, and it's so like eerie, like, you know, that we end up losing these guys like kind of near their drops. You know, with Chino XL, we've never seen anything like this.
You're talking about subtle hints, or like, oh wow, that kind of meant that now.
Right. This is very overt, like kind of like it's in plain English writing, and yet, you know, it just shows you how real and heavy, you know, these mental health issues that he was going through really was, which, you know, honestly gives everything he's saying more weight.
Absolutely.
You know, as more like, this dude ain't just saying bars.
He ain't just rapping just to rap.
He's speaking his honest truth, like where he's coming from. So it is pretty unique. We've never seen that in rap. I guarantee you we haven't seen that in rap.
No, not to this level.
No. Chorus, I see you surrounded by fire, baby, flesh burning in the pit. And I don't know if we can rap like this dude, so don't expect us to be rapping like, nah. This dude's unique.
He's one of one if someone's going to expect us to rap like him.
Yeah, right. No, that's not going to happen. I'm trying to write words that amaze me with the rope around my while I stand, and I'm gonna kind of be cautious with like how vulgar we get here.
Yeah.
So I want to just give you that disclaimer. I stand on a glacier, so even that alone, like standing on a glacier, we already know like that potentially that's gonna melt, leaving him to his own demise. Please don't melt. Looking like I'll off myself. Self words in the color of death. Words in the color of death. Death. Verse 1, Dear Derek's corpse, I resemble you. So many people in the past told me that I would never forget them. I just don't remember who. Straight out of the human zoo. I mean, already it's crazy. They told me that I'll never forget. Then I can't remember who told me that. Like that. Yeah. Already, this dude's, he's out the box already.
And straight out of the human zoo reminds me of the Twilight Zone episode where some guy gets abducted. And the grand reveal is at the end of the episode. He is actually in a facade house.
Yeah, the house is the cage.
The higher beings are looking at him in a zoo-like setting.
Piece of Twilight Zone.
So straight out of the human zoo.
Yeah. No woman except my daughters ever truly loved me. That goes for all my love interest and my mama too. He really stressed that too, making a big point. My mama too. Isn't it evident that Chino has been sent by the gods and manufactured more ink than a distinct transparency full of encephalopods?
Yeah.
Cephalopod? What's that?
The district transparent encephalopods.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Whatever it is, it's crazy, and it's definitely out of my vocabulary. I've been over the webinar's full-blown homage of work that's been plagiarized. Oh, what'd you say?
I got the definition. Yeah. So manufactured more than a distinct transparency full of encephalopods. Cephalopods are a class of marine mollusks known for their intelligence, large heads, and numerous tentacles.
Huh. Well, out of my vocabulary, like I was saying. So bring back Basquiat in this. Basquiat. Thank you, Ali. In a sense, seance collage and watch the mahogany table rise already. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Cars, Cadillac converter connected to a gas mask on my tandem garage. Very dark, but still giving you lyricism. Though,
the bars are crazy.
Yeah, like rhyming still like crazy. Inhaling the carbon monoxide when I then write death cutter words on of the cadence horror barrage. It's sad in addiction when you got material that hardly moved me. I write calmly with the gritty, shoddy, ultraviolet styling of a Rob Zombie movie. Whoa. I write calmly with the gritty, shoddy, ultraviolet styling of Rob Zombie movie.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like just crazy.
Dark and bright at the same time.
Alliteration's crazy. I'm fucking your bitch while you play Call of Duty. I don't know why that bar just stuck out alone. Just one bar. Just randomly fucking your bitch while you're playing Call of Duty. Name the greatest lyricist of all time. They'll all approve me. Facts.
Whoever you think is dope, they all think I'm dope.
Yeah. Words painted in color of death quills. I'm harder than coffin nails. Mainline and methamphetamine in my veins. When I'm one, endorphin fails. They say, where's the will? There's a way now where there's a way, there's a will. So you better start filling out your insignificant little will before this blood spill.
Wow.
Love the wordplay.
Yeah, it's flipping it back and forth. You must kneel when I thrust still, lust for the kill, flush your scales, shatter your face into little miniature pus jails, push your shark into gills, searching for the carpet for pails, my garment reveals, I ain't starving for meals, kidnapping only enemy males, pay the ransom bails, all relatives receive blood, gelatin, smeared skull, pieces inside of their physical males, warrior scales, only when I left my entails, my entrails, your spit don't contain flames, you ain't even fire drills.
Damn.
When I collaboration, you were outshined. Don't worry, it ain't an isolation incident. It's basically a precedent that happened over 10,000 times.
Wow.
Woo, Chino, the problem child. Shoot myself with the puppet on my hand tied.
Whoa.
So when the police come, they don't know whether to rule it a homicide or a unliving.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. It's like I can't do anything right, and the vibe to try to change the tide. Sitting by my ocean side, watching the video files, all blind on the night that I died.
Damn.
I'm passionate without nearly knowing. I ain't gonna say it. I realized my craft spit acid. I'd like to thank Jesus of Nazareth of the past assists. Never a pacifist. I'm illest living, so I'm living without caregiving. It's a weird feeling. He owed me bread. He asked me to bear with him. He better have a bear with him. Dumb bastard, I'm feeling lower than my ejection fraction, but it's hard to heal a broken heart when a broken heart, literally every ventricle of my mind is fractured.
Wow.
These are words scattered and etched inside of my ivory casket. They want me banned, like the instrument hillbillies have mastered. They want me banned, yo.
Banjo.
They want me banned,
Yeah,
yo. Like
banjo.
Chino spit historical. I'm a pioneer and I push desert inside of your audio. Here. And then it goes back to the chorus. I see you surrounded by fire, baby, flesh burning. Yeah. So, very dark. Goes into some places like
understatement.
Yeah, goes into some places like, talking about things like that. That's very taboo to talk about stuff like that. But all things he's really feeling, and I know he had like health issues as well. So this is all going on. Plus, on top of that, mental issues that he's fighting and everything. But heavy. Mark was saying before we started, it's a heavy listen. But the showcase of the greatness and lyrical abilities is still here, and that you can't deny.
Nope.
No.
You can't deny or take away the skill that Chino XL shows here.
Yeah.
Shows us, but definitely going through it, probably alone, probably feeling all type of emotions, right? To write something like that. We move on to the second track, which is going to be Sermon and Crimson. Beat is crazy, and if you just you realize who you're dealing with Chino fucking XL, like coming into this track, like a true master of lyricism. Like that's who you realize who you're dealing with here.
The best example I can use, and hot take or not, a piece to all our Aesop Rock fans, but Aesop Rock has this weakness in his style where he deliberately will be so vague that you can't really interpret it and define it as such.
Right.
He'll leave it super vague and you kind of have to figure it out.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Chino XL kind of raps like Aesop Rock, but you get every explanation.
You know what he's talking about.
Yeah, you know what he's talking about.
And that's something to note because to me it's a better payoff because I like lyrical rappers.
Oh yeah.
But to each their own on that because there's a lot of people that do like Ace's style, but I've seen a lot of similarities from Ace's style, Aesop Rock style to Chino XL.
Like there's one thing to be lyrical for the sake of being lyrical, but then there's also being lyrical with something attached to it, whether it's a punchline, a deep message,
or a metaphor,
something. Whether it's just just like I said, lyrical for the sake of being lyrical.
This is and what I'll take care of now for this song, Sermon and Crimson.
Yeah, you're doing the whole song.
It's crazy how bit long those verses are.
Yeah, I know.
They're like 50 bars.
That's why I say it's a perfect like opposite to Jay Electronica because like Jay Electronica, he's doing long verses too, and then just Chino XL is doing it, but just in a darker place.
Talk about like just taking down the construct of hip hop norms, and just going doing it in your own thing.
Yeah, they don't even care about what the hooks are.
The intro, I'm sounding marvelous. Brother Rome's level check 1 2 XP. What up, family? Is that how these feel? Is that how young feel? Wordsmith, murder rhetoric, unleash your next fear. If not, if I'm not the illest, I'm the illest at least until the illest gets here.
What a way to freaking say that. That's his own way to say it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's never been about making a project to release. Nah, it's about making a project to release. Chino the Unstoppable Beast. The release.
Chino the Unstoppable Beast.
Mother Nature let me breastfeed, so who's going to test me when I bury you like Adolf Hitler buried his own ancestry?
Historical here. Going into historical references.
Cold and ironic, vitrolic. I'm not plotting to die tonight.
Vitrolic.
Key strike your Helvetica, bold and italic Arial, but you are not my type. So that's two different fonts on Microsoft Word.
Typing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dope.
Type 2 diabetes. I just typed the word diabetes twice.
Wow.
Dog. Ew.
That's
man.
crazy.
When I'm literally driving to work and he says that, I'm like, oh, man.
Crazy.
What I write is a spiritless, demonic device that has decidedly writing that we have been robbed of a physical life of Sean Price.
Wow. Ooh. Rest in peace, Sean Price.
I got a mind that is ice, freezing, driven, still living in cages. Here to save all to God's carpenter. I'm awkward author that is ageless.
I just want to face Chino XL versus J Electronica, just like.
Man, that's a heck of a
That's
sparring.
like two negatively charged magnets.
Yeah,
They'll never get
they'll
there.
never.
Just
Nope. That's a good one.
The Bronx, Jersey to Cali, the streets that Bronx, Jersey to Cali, the streets that Chino that ran on. With ink blot, I'm writing verses that are hotter than a jalapeno tampon.
Nasty.
Damn.
Relatively speaking, the alphabet is my slave kin. So many verses written in my phone, the bottom of my screen is caved in.
Oh, wow.
I'm feeling no feelings, known for spilling the truth. Even if it hurts, don't piss Chino off. That's a sermon in 4 words. I said, I'm feeling no feelings, known for spilling a truth, even if it hurts. Don't piss Chino off. That's a sermon in 4 words.
Wow. Don't piss Chino off. That's crazy.
That's a lot of minister try to pry open my bad. Price that file that I fit in the store to figure out my 5 times signature. One is the middle of the grim winter, so the crimson weird lit mirror that's showing dead images, even the blind God shouldn't be witness.
Oh, a lot of tongue twisters in here. Yeah, because imagine he's spending all this double time, like double or triple time. Say
the she sells by the sea. No, she sell. How about you spit a Chino XL verse 5 times fast,
and it's like 3 times fast. Yeah.
That's the tigers flying over cities that look like tiny managers worshipped by religious villages that believe it in me and the infant Jesus in the manger that was switched at birth.
Whoa.
Whew. Another like esoteric type of style, just similar to J Electronica.
Yeah, green LED type lights to shoot it down my eye sockets. I guess if I'm right around your house, motherfucker, the property value skyrockets. He's that valuable. Got me blind in division, and I'm surrounded by five cars to live. Oh no. I see what he's saying. Okay. Got me blind in division, and I'm surrounded by 5 houses, 5 cars to live into the dumpster garbage. As if I was a child of 5 years older than a father. I actually watched this. The angry drippets left at the mine. I've been in neurotic, psychotic product. I got a hood environment ever since. Slap the shit out your man, and you just tried to laugh it off. Looking shocked like when I found out the group, the Black Keys, was not black at all.
Oh.
I'm merciful scales. My vehicle is personal skills in the life that is up and down, like learning how to drive a stick shift for the San Francisco Hills. The ultimate test.
Doing the San Francisco Hills.
Dude.
That's crazy.
That's a task.
Right.
Learning how to drive stick shift in San
Francisco Hills.
Good
Typewrite, pencil lead. I ride better than these ever if I can't talk.
Damn.
I write my ass off so they can't write my...
I like that.
I write my ass off so they can't write my ass off. Surrounded by love, I still don't feel my worth. Mad that I keep hitting the space bar, but I'm still here on Earth. Whoa. Keyboard alliteration to actual space.
Yeah, to space.
Lord of Retaliation, trust me.
It's a bar too, and it's a bar.
Yep.
Space bar.
But I'm still here on Earth. Lord of Retaliation, trust me, I'm the ultimate blind nympho sex life. You don't even know who you're
fucking with. Woo.
Dang.
Blind sex and info. You don't even know who you fucking with. Yeah. That's crazy.
Verses like this and verses like the ones that we mentioned over in Worlds in the World of Death, it constitutes multiple listens.
Yes.
with multiple listens, you do get the treat of getting more punchlines, getting it, more punchlines. It's a treat to hear these kind of lyrics, and these verses.
Yeah, because they're just nestled in there, and it's like it hits you, like similar to Big L, man. He'll just like boom, hit you all of a sudden. So it catches you off guard a little bit or by surprise.
It's like watching a movie, multiple times, and then you find something. I didn't get that the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll definitely get that listening to.
It's really insane, man.
Nuts.
Yeah, because you can't. The first listen, it's just gonna all fly over your head. First listen.
No, you can't catch
listen
everything.
a couple times so you really get it. Especially at the speed he's spitting this out.
Right. We're not even doing it justice for real.
At the speed he's doing it at, we're not even doing it at that speed.
And I don't even mean to even to harp on this type of scenario, but the situation that he's in, he's letting it all on the table.
Oh yeah,
these are bars I've never heard in my life. I've never seen the setups and the impacts of what he's doing.
Leaving it all on the court, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell like he's giving his best here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so we go on to the next one, The Red You Deserve.
Yeah.
The first verse. The worst part, this ain't even the worst part. The cursed dart, reverse heart, the nurse's chart that refers to me in a transverse arch, spiraling down to earth, gods in a sludge, mud, dirt, and smog. But I was very smart, innocent, and symmetry, innocent and cemetery, cussing the Virgin Mary like it's customary when I first talk. What? Who threw a Molotov through the synagogue window with the wick lit? Wow.
Through the synagogue window with the wick lit.
Using the ghost lager bottle that Tiger was swallowed, then threw it out like a drunk driver in a ditch with his wig flipped. Unbothered witness, the unhinged Chino XL distressed misfit, elusive remiss. Mystery and cryptic, twisted slice of the lesbian pedestrian in the brisket. Stay off my wristlet, wish list. Shitting down your chimney. Shitting down your chimney on December 25th, except the sickest of gifts. Oh my God.
Imagine I'm looking for gifts, he's just shitting down your chimney.
Oh, that's crazy.
On December 25th.
I called you for the witch spit, abortions in the kid's crib. I think your son would have been at least 6 had he lived. In the bank, I never worry. Your brain gets shanked in curry. You get what you deserve. To me, the whole world is Franklin Murray. Asking me if I want my food grilled or fried, ride. That's how you concern me. The only worthy you will ever be is cringeworthy. Woo! Damn.
The only worthy you'll be is cringeworthy.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's the only modern slang he's ever used in these verses that we've talked about.
Yeah, true.
Like it's
true. Other stuff is like outer worldly vocabulary that it's beyond me.
Man. Second verse. All over the world, they heard of Big Chai. 911 calls me. Oh no, Big Chi. 911 calls me. There's an emergency. You're Bill Gates trying to keep your woman because you're rich. There should be a tarot card for Chino's about to fuck your bitch. Oh gosh. I've already cracked aesthetics, forbidden, sacred, and sacrilegious. I'm a highly accomplished spitter murderer who spent my entire life literally out rapping. My pen so exquisite, the rap business on the whole is reaching slowest goals of privilege and stolen soul and intellectual limits. Whoa.
I just feel like there's just no place that this guy couldn't go. Like Chino XL could go.
He's
there.
He's treaded the path, and the next person who's behind him in that same path is light years away.
Yeah.
Vocal pilgrimage, never skittish. It's a little high. Oh, actually, no, I skipped the part. My pivot is no form of gimmick. Authentic. I'm here to live it. To the dean call on superior ammo. Vocal pilgrimage, never skittish. It's a little higher percentage. Shrivel your scrimmage. I spit on you in British. I'm gonna be the illest until Idris Elba and Morgan Freeman share the same distinct, twisted, identical physical image.
That's crazy.
What?
That's a crazy line.
I gotta do that again.
Yeah.
I spit on you in British. I'm gonna be the illest until Idris Elba and Morgan Freeman share the same distinct, twisted, identical physical image.
Till death in it.
Wow. I'm loyal to my team as Hasidic Jew. I interpret this as David Berkowitz. I'll shoot motherfuckers if my dog told me to.
Son of Sam.
Wow.
Son of Sam blamed his dog that he committed blamed it on his dog that he said, "Oh, my dog told me to kill all these people."
Oh, that's crazy.
Son of Sam. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Dope reference.
Interpret this as David Berkowitz. I'll shoot motherfuckers if my dog told me to. Lyrical. Jesus is my decision. Whether you live or you die, your family won't even have proper bones to remember you by. I've got more energy than any living man. Red Bull is just my urine packaged in a can. Oh, wow.
Dang.
I don't want to drink Red Bull anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to drink that no more.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely. He's on that level of like, but it's like he's going in places like you just don't want to go, you know. But this dude is trailblazing in that path, and it's his lane. Like, yeah, I almost feel like he's made to like defy the gods or something. Like, you know, and that's what Chino XL could do.
This feels like the album, like you said, was like leaving it all on the court. Like he was emptying the clip on this album. Like this is it. Like he kind of knew, and he just said, "Look, I'm gonna empty the clip on
give
this.
You my best,
everything."
Like, yeah,
crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And I feel like sometimes you're not like ready to go, you know, but like considering all the things he's dealing with, health wise. You know, mental issue wise, relationship wise, you know, just you're such in a bad place that it's like you just feel like alone and battling these demons on your own. It's a very tough place to be in, you know, like you just feel suffocated, you know, and that's the part that's hard because it's so real. Like he's not just
a lot. Like I said, a lot of dudes they play with this type of.
Yeah, they'll play with
this type of content.
Right.
Like we've heard, you know, Eminem do it. Other artists have, you know, played with it. Big L to a degree. No, this dude, this is what he
leans into it like he does.
This is him really dealing with this.
Yeah, giving you real like that just makes it even more heavier. You know, the fact that we know that, you know, retrospect that we know that. But you can see top tier lyricists.
Oh,
like this guy could go toe to toe with the best.
Anybody
out here.
Anybody.
Yeah, battling, dude.
You in for a long day.
Yeah. You got some work cut out for you.
You will be in for a long day.
Yeah, for sure. Because he's saying things that are out of my vocabulary. Like he's saying things that you've heard before, but different, which is unique. Got the triple time flow. Like the speed is crazy. The precision is crazy. Dude, this dude's saying shock stuff that like blows you out of the water.
Even admits it too. Is like even admit there's a couple bars where it's like, yo, if someone will see this as sacrilege, and definitely is.
Yeah, he's going in all these territories.
He does. Every faith can get the smoke at this point with Chino XL.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. Yeah, that I mean that I don't think there's a whole lot of takeaways other than we just know he left it all on the court.
Yeah, this is a very profound impression on this album, but the thing is that the impression that he left is, you know, we can't really say he went really lyrical so many times, you know.
Right, exactly.
It's a very impactful, crater-like impact of lyricism.
Yeah, and the thing that he's always been consistent with it, which is from the beginning. Like if you listen to his earlier works, he's giving you lyricism, like same hard-hitting lyricism. It's still there. Yeah. So, yeah, piece of this album, piece of the person that recommended it to us. Definitely a heavy listen, definitely a sobering listen. Yeah. But nonetheless, like we have to honor Chino XL for the lyricist, the master lyricist that he is and was. So, piece of this album and giving it your all and leaving it all on the court. Like, it's a crazy display of lyricism, unlike anything I've ever heard. Different for sure. And we just covered Electronica.
Right.
Yeah, and this is like a whole other beast here. Like a whole nother beast.
Crazy.
Yeah, but in that same vein, you know. All right, man. Mark, let him have it, man.
Before we even do that, we do know that, you know, the way Chino XL went out, and if you guys are ever listening and feel like you guys are in a dark place like that, there are programs there's programs, there's hotlines, there's friends you can reach out to. Trust me.
Please talk to somebody, get help.
Yeah, that
Make
part.
sure
Please.
you end up doing that. Each situation is different, but it's ultimately rooted in the fact that your life is precious, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to see you go. So just remember that. But
And listen to Jay Electronica too. Eternal Sunshine, man. Get inspired.
yeah, definitely. To those MCs, drop a mic, drop a like.
Yeah, much love, everybody. Check us out. We're dropping episodes every Monday. Make sure you tune in, comment, share, like, subscribe, follow us. All of it.
Nixon 5.
Slide that in.